Crawleys lived here, and on the corner there was a big white house.
Yeah.
I know that guy's name, and I cannot think of it now. He claimed that my brother got his 16-year-old sister pregnant.
Yeah.
And he was a supervisor at the chalk mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Wade Howard, I knew him. We used to go hunting and fishing all the time together. And he introduced me to this guy and said, "This is my boss man."
Mm-hmm.
And I can't bring it up now.
He was that was Newby Fox.
Newby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kin to that Fox down there.
They were the newbies.
Yeah, he was
the newbies.
Yeah. You remember,
it wasn't Fox, it was newbies.
You remember George Newby?
Yeah. That was this guy's name.
Yeah, all right. There you go. That's him.
And we were at Ward's Barbecue at the intersection of Emory Highway and the Cochran Short Route. And he was telling me that James got his 16-year-old sister pregnant. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And Wade was introducing me to George Newby. That was his name.
That's it.
And I said, "I don't know nothing about all that." And he said, and he told me that girl had a girl and said she was grown then.
Yeah.
So it was a long space in between all this stuff. But I've always thought that when they said that he died in a wreck, that I'm thinking he might have been killed and put in the car.
Yeah.
And I'll always believe that.
Yeah. I never remember him. I was born in 45. I see he died in 52.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have been but 7 years old.
7 years old.
Yeah. Regiment. But he was in Sicily during the Second World War.
That fella, George, that said that James had gotten his sister pregnant.
George Newby.
George Newby.
Yeah.
Who was his daddy?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know George Newby. I didn't know his
But
daddy.
they lived real close to where George and Janie lived. And I remember James come out there one time, and he had an old car. And I'm thinking your mom and daddy had that car when y'all were living up there on the first place on Nape Avenue. Yeah. And I'm thinking it was a 35 or a 36 Ford.
Convertible.
Yeah. And James got that thing, and he says, he said, "You drive." And I was sitting next to him, and all I was doing was steering, you know. And we pulled up there in that Newby's yard, and he said, we got to stop right here. And he didn't go up to the house, he just far enough to turn around and go back down there to George and Janie's house.
All right, that George Newby, he had 3 sons. I was raised up with them. And the oldest one was named Bradley. He was older than I was. And the next one was Frank. And Frank worked at a gas company in Macon. And then he had a younger one named Kenny. There was 3 of them boys George had.
Now,
do you remember a black guy? And he claimed that he worked for your daddy in Putwood, and your daddy still owed him some money. Said he wouldn't pay him or something or other, and his name was Norman Wright.
Boots, when James died, what did the autopsy report say?
Don't know. What happened, James was bad about drinking, and he'd drink that stump liquor, and he'd have an old churn. You remember them?
Yeah.
Where you churn butter? He had one of them back at the door, and flies would be swimming around that thing. It had old cheesecloth over that thing to keep the flies out of the home brew. And he'd dip that stuff down there and pour it in a glass, and there'd be all kind of stuff shooting through there. And he said, have some of this. And I didn't like it. And he said, it's almost ready.
You know,
But
Chicha. They were making chicha.
they would drink this stuff.
But not from corn. What were they making
Now
it
they
from?
take sugar cane. When they cooking it off, they had a big old skillet, big old cheap one. They'd have a nail hole punching all over that thing, tied to a stick. And they're skimming on top of that cane as they cook it. This old white stuff and all that just comes to the top. And they dip it off, pour it in a little barrel over there. They call it cane skimming, and somebody else call it something else. And it would turn pure alcohol. I'm talking about
Yeah.
stuff. And these people drank this shit, man. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like you could almost get 180 proof on that stuff.
On that stuff, yeah. It was sitting there, man.
And corn squeezings was the same way.
Yeah.
If you put the sugar in there, it fermented it.
Yeah.
And it got it to going. And
That stuff will go to bubbling, it come up.
I know during the time that I was in Korea, you could get alcohol 180 proof, and you'd have to mix grapefruit juice or something with it, and you'd pour it in them aluminum canteens. Man, it'd turn it black as all get out.
You take that
But-
sugar and stir
Yeah.
it up and leave it alone. That stuff go to bubbling. When it goes to bubbles and go to stopping, that's your beer then, you know. You got to drink it then or go ahead and cook it in the liquor, either one you want.
But you know, homebrew, when people were bottling that stuff, it was bad about popping the top off,
Yeah.
and you'd hit in a house and it pop. And it
They
done
hit
got so strong it's blowing the top. He lived in a school bus for a long time down there just before you got into Jeffersonville on Highway 80. And then he died in a nursing home up here close to Lakeside.
They had a bunch of goats.
And he'd travel all over the country with them goats.
What'd he do with
They'd
them
pull him a
goats?
wagon.
The
A
goats.
little
Goats
old wagon.
pull the wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he'd go to Chicago and places all over the country,
What was he doing?
selling pictures of himself and his goats.
Yeah. Showed in, that went
Yeah.
everywhere.
He was a promoter.
Well, there was all kind of stories about him, but I'm thinking he just liked to have a free spirit to get out and go.
What sheriff was this?
Earl Hamrick,
Twiggs County.
Twiggs County Sheriff,
How long was he sheriff?
50 years.
When did he start being sheriff?
When he was a young man.
Yeah.
I don't know what year.
Yeah, new young man.
What year would that have been?
I'm thinking probably the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sheriff on into the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
So he would have been sheriff when James died.
Yeah. Yeah.
And James died in Twiggs County.
Yeah.
Did the newbies know him?
Yeah.
There was a man,
George Newby. Yeah, he knew him. He was the one that told me that my brother got his sister pregnant.
Did he run with the sheriff's family at all?
I don't know, but I'm thinking that they were influential at one time in Twiggs County because they were large landowners.
they had all this timber and everything.
Yeah, they did.
What was that sheriff's name?
Earl Hamrick.
Earl Hamrick. Sheriff for 50 years?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he knew
Was-
just about everybody in the county.
Was he a good sheriff?
Good and bad. It all depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he was good to us because Daddy, he politicked for him all the time.
Yeah. Well, as long as he was re-elected, why, especially at boating time.
Yeah,
He'd be good to you then.
yeah. He'd hand out moonshine liquor election time.
Yeah. Well, he knew just about where all the moonshine was. They were paying him off.
Never steal, you
Yeah.
right. He did.
So, Larry, your daddy politics for this sheriff?
Hammer, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, there was a guy I was raised up with. His name is Russell Lee. Walker Thompson. He was kin to Dad and them somehow. And he married this boy's mama. She was a Lynn. Start turning right here. And to the right. And this boy's daddy, he was over there in old little honky tonk they always told me. He was cutting up, mouthing off over there and wanted to settle down. And the guy that owned the place had something like an old billy club made out of old wooden thing with a handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
He hit that man over the head, and that man run across the road, went in them woods, and they got looking for him the next day, and that man was dead.
Mm.
He had killed him. And Earl Hamrick had that old club up there in that courthouse. Kept it up there in that courthouse. He never did lock that man up to hit him in the head or nothing. And we had some more shootings in Twiggs County. And Earl Hamrick would take these people up there, let them walk around up there for about 6 months and turn them loose. They'd be done shot somebody and killed them.
Mm. Well, you know,
What's going on, who it was.
David Caleb was the mayor down here for a long time too.
Yep. You know, when he died, Boosie, that joker was worth millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Sure was. And our representative, he lives right here behind this fence right here. Bubba Epps. Bubba Epps in his younger days, he done all the paving all over the county. He always had money because he got them jobs all the time.
Yeah.